Crossing lines on a Wednesday, no better place to be than right here, 12 noon. It's your powwow. It's your guys. It's Jeff Nadu. It's Donnie Rightside here. An hour and a half, it's ours. Hot topics, got it. Viral topics, absolutely. And so many things went down yesterday, Jeff. It's a beautiful day in our neck of the woods, and I love to be here with you talking these topics today, Jeff. How are we feeling, Jeff Nadu?
I'm feeling great, Donnie. Man, you hit it on the head. It really has been great weather lately. You know, it hasn't really rained. The temperature's been like 76, 77, just beautiful. But I'm going home tomorrow, so it'll be nice to get back to the normal grind, back to my normal setup, better connection, everything. Looking forward to it.
Back in the PA, and away we go. And this is Crossing Lines, as you know, Jeff. Each and every day, more people are watching, more people understand. I can't tell you how many DMs I've gotten. Hey, man, the boys are back together. When did that start? Well, we just started here, so we're building it here. And the more things that we can get out there, which means we need your help. You come into the chat box, say hello to us here. Popping already. We absolutely love that. It's fantastic. Yesterday, under 300 subscribers before we started. Today, over 300 subscribers. So if you're watching live right now, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're watching on Twitter, hit the retweet here. All of that stuff helps us out, Jeff, so we can build this show for the people. The better we do, the better happens here, the more information we can give. I love it. Like, I'm so fired up and re-energized, Jeff, that you can look, I'm feeling good. Like, look, I get to wear a collared shirt today, wearing the baby blue, Jeff. You're down the shore right now. Like, life is good. It is.
Yeah, and it all leads up to the real fun. Not that this isn't real fun, but, football is just a great time of the year.
Yeah.
That'll come in a couple of months. Again, I told you, 10 more Saturdays without college football. And the good goal is to every day just add more people, build a community. And yeah, it's been fun. I'll tell you, a lot of the behind the scenes people that are setting the shows up, we're adding some things, really good stuff, a lot of good topics. And Donnie, I had to tell you, I crushed it yesterday on the show.
You did. Go ahead. Hit it. Yep. I know you did.
I mean, Senegal, France over, winner. I'm sure we won't see that goofy guy that was in here the other day talking about what's your record? And that Dodger game, easy under. So I'm looking forward to it. It's been it was a good day for soccer yesterday as well.
It was. I'm waiting. It's an interesting part for me, Jeff, is I had a contrarian team total yesterday. The Phillies hit the second inning. That was great. I have a total today, which would give me a winning day from yesterday, Jeff. And these are always the odd things that sometimes when you're handicapping and depending on what books you're using, you sort of get a delay. But the suspended game is always interesting to me. And sometimes, Jeff, where it's like, okay, they take it off the books and you don't have to deal with it. Like, oh, thank God, I had the under in that game. I have the over. I love the fact that this game is going to be played today under suspension. And depending on which book you're with, most of them, Jeff, 24 to 48 hours, as long as it's in the same ballpark and resumes, that it is a live wager. I got 5 runs in an inning and a half that I need 10 to cash in and get to. I love the fact that game is resuming today, but come on, people. Just give me a couple runs and that'll give me a winning night. So a lot of fun on the base pass last night, Jeff, which included those Philadelphia Phillies hammering the Marlins yesterday. And did you know, Jeff, Kyle Schwarber's 25th home run leads Major League Baseball? Love to see that.
I'm actually going to address that game today, actually. Yep. So we'll have to get into that one.
Here we go. And a lot of people, again, chat box popping off right here. Oh, look at this. Jack Falk. Did anyone tell Nadu Messi scored? Oh, see that, Jeff? They get after you on the stuff that you make fun of, but then don't give you your props on the stuff that you slay. Why is this?
The same stuff over and over and over. And look, this is why I don't look for affirmation anymore from these people. I just do what I do. If you win, you win. Congrats. But they never bring that up. And notice, I didn't tell you to play that. I just said the whole world's going to play Messi to score a goal. True. He scored a goal. Books have gotten crushed on Messi scoring goals in America. I mean, they just have.
Absolutely smashed at this point. When you're talking about, Jeff, the players that people like to bet on doing well, you got it so far in this World Cup. There's no doubt about that here. But again, thanks for checking in the chat box here. Keep everything popping. I'll check from time to time to make sure we see what's going on, Jeff. But big doings this week also, U.S. Open and Shinnecock Hills right here in our neck of the woods on Long Island in the Northeast. Flash Watson going to join us in 20 minutes. We're going to go over World Cup action as well as hit some golf also. Now, Jeff, this is Crossing Lines. It's the perfect title for the show because when I hit a retweet yesterday, after the show goes off, we post some of the clips here. I download those and retweet them out here. We got like 60,000 plus views on the Josh Hokett story yesterday, which basically wasn't a, sports story per se, but it was. That's what we do. We're going to give you winners. We're going to give you some losers, which we try to keep them to a minimum here, but we're going to give you those hot topics. But also, Jeff, when we talk about hot topics together, we teased this yesterday. We only had a couple minutes left in the show, and you reminded me. Something happened in Atlantic City that the people always want to get into Nadu's business. the Borgata, one of my favorite hotels in Atlantic City, Jeff, the poker room. What happened?
Well, I want to make this clear. Borgata is a great casino,
It
right?
is.
It's one of the only good ones left in Atlantic City. Look, I still think Atlantic City has some room to grow. I mean, Ocean Resort's great, Hard
I love
Rock's
it.
great.
Yep.
But the problem is, Donnie, I play poker, right? And a lot like Ocean Resort don't even have a poker room. The poker culture in Atlantic City is gone. The Taj doesn't exist anymore. It's not Rounders in the 90s, right? So Borgata for years has had a great poker room, but over the last several years, it's went downhill, downhill, downhill. You would go in there, Donnie, on a Tuesday night, and you could get any game you wanted. Now people are staying in New York. They're going to Baltimore, Washington. They're going to parks. They're going to all sorts of other casinos. So what has happened is the level of poker room floor people has descended into chaos. So I go in there. I play 2-5. That's about the best game you can get in Borgata at this point, which kind of sucks. But I'm waiting. They have one table of 2-5. When I get there, there's 6 people waiting for 2-5. They need 8 to create another table. An hour in, Donnie, I'm sitting there still. We don't have a game. And I'm not playing 1-3. I'd rather jump off the Walt Whitman Bridge than play 1-3 at the Borgata with these old people that play every hand or don't play any hands at all. So I finally get a table after 15 people ask for another table. So what they would call that is they call it a feeder table. There's only one other table. We all sit down at the same time. Now, mind you, we all waited an hour and a half to play 2-5. 10 hands in, floor guy comes over and goes, 9 seat has to move to the dealer. I'm in the 9 seat. I said, what do you mean I have to move? I said, we've all sat down at the same time. Why do I have to move? This is a must move table. We just pick someone and they have to move. I said, well, I'm not moving. I said, we all sat at the same time. It's ridiculous. Why am I having to move? Well, sir, we just happen to pick you and you've got to go. I said, I'm not moving. Some other guy goes, I'll move. Another guy goes, I'll move also. Floor guy, no, he has to move. I said, man, I sat down. I'm not moving. I said, call security. That's the only way I'm moving. I said, if they come here and pull me out of the seat, that's how I'll move. I was just irritated. It was a good table we were playing at. A lot of good action. There were guys, playing a lot of pots, a lot of money in the pots. I didn't want to move. Throw in, Donnie, and this is just me, and this is how I am. They wanted me in a seat where I'm sitting with my back to the door. Sorry, I just don't want to do that. I don't like sitting with my back to the door. I like being in a full – look, I talk about the mafia, for Christ's sakes. I don't want to sit with my back to the door anywhere. It's just how I am. Maybe I'm paranoid. Either way, I didn't want to move. 10 minutes later, security comes in. Sir, get up. You got to move. I said, number one, I'm in a hand right now. I'll talk to you when I'm done. I finished the hand. Guy makes a big deal about it and says, you got to leave. They then take me into some security room and ask me
now,
why.
hold on, Jeff. Was it like a pit ball? Like, who was actually telling you to leave? Was it security or was it like, I don't know. I've never played poker in a poker room in a casino.
So each poker room has a director, which basically runs that room. And then there's like 3 or 4 guys that like direct you to the tables. They make sure everything's good with hands. Like they kind of oversee things. Now, none of these people have any idea what they're doing. Most of them don't even know how to play poker. The dealers are the ones that are the only good people in those rooms. They actually are keeping the games running, letting people know. So they come over. He's like, oh, I don't make the rules. And then the security guy comes over. He acts like he's in the Secret Service. They then get me up and make me walk into like another room. They're like, why are you acting like that? I said, number one, your tournament people or your floor people have no idea what they're doing here. Other people had said they would leave. It's just irritating. This room's not run correctly. And eventually they just walked me out. They're like, you're not allowed in the poker room for a while. So I don't know if I'm allowed back in. I didn't go in yesterday, but it's just irritating. I know they do must move tables. But again, when other people are requesting to leave, it's just irritating. Throw in, it shouldn't have taken that long for another game.
Look at that, Jeff, ruffling feathers down at the Borgata at this point, Jeff. But also you have a big summer in poker, which is a perfect segue. What do you actually have coming up this summer once again? Because some people haven't watched the show yet. Jeff's a big poker player. None bigger than World Series of Poker out there in Vegas, huh?
Well, I don't know if I'm a big poker player.
Come on, big man.
Poker player.
I can't even call you the big man anymore. It's disrespect.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a big player, but I like playing. I wanted to put a little more time into playing this year. And I'm going to play in the main event this year. I'm going to have some fun with it, document some of my
Yep.
my journey, and maybe go and make some money. First place will probably be north of $10 million. It's always kind of been a dream of mine to play in the main event. It's a prestigious tournament to
Where is
play
it now,
in.
Jeff? Like, where do they actually hold the tournament at in
So
Vegas?
the
At what
tournament's
casino?
at the Horseshoe.
Okay.
So
Yep.
it's
Sure.
I'm going to be out there for a while. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And then I got my birthday in a month. We're gonna have a big party. So there's a lot of cool things coming. Summer's fun. But I will say I'm excited to get home because when I do shows like this, I like to
Yeah.
be able to have access to like checking stuff out while people are talking.
Yep.
I have all the notes in my head, but
Yeah.
for anyone that doesn't understand, and I was talking about this behind the scenes, Donnie. So I'm in a house. Like I
Hmm.
have like full. It's a great place. I
Yeah.
love the location. I'll definitely come back to this place. But the one thing I don't have access to is I would hook in straight to the internet connection
Yeah.
to have a straight connection to my laptop. But
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. I can't find it. I've looked all over the place. I can't find the damn thing.
Come on, man. The FBI would be over there with little sensors out there, sweeping through the place, find that router, see exactly where it's at this point. But it's great stuff, Jeff. We're going to root you on, of
Donnie, let
course,
me
there
ask
coming
you.
up. Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
I mean, was I wrong in this situation? Like number one, I was irritated that we had to wait that long. I mean, it's just other people were requesting they would have moved. Like, why do I have to move?
I usually always go with the flow, but I know you. Like, you're very headstrong at this point. If you don't want something to happen, it's not going to happen, and that's the way it goes down. But yeah, like, if you were in a place where you have to be locked in when you play poker. You don't want outside distractions. Like, why does this guy keep coming over? I got to pay attention to the hand. I got to read the room at this point. Now I got to read the guy behind me that says I want to move, and I don't want to move. They want to move. They want
Well,
me to move. I get it. Like, you're in a place of I'm ready to lock in, which is why, like, nobody goes in really to play a hand of poker. You go down there and lock in for hours at a time where you're in your zone, like coding, Jeff, right? You got to be in your zone. You don't want to be interrupted by that.
and the thing is, like,
Yeah.
the final thing I'll say on it is, like, the table I was at,
Yeah.
there was really two aggro players. When I say aggro, aggressive, like
Mhm.
every hand at 2-5, they're raising to
Yep.
13 and then re-raising to 43. Like,
Yep.
and there were good hands.
Yeah.
The security guy walks in, Donnie. I look at ace king of spades. I'm in the small blind, and I'm obviously going to play ace king of spades against
Yep.
two very aggro players. The one aggro player is like this Indian doctor. I've played him around there before. I raised to 13. He raises to 43. This guy comes over. Sure, you're going to move. I said, I'm in a hand right now. Flop comes out ace 7-4.
Nope.
And again, I'm in a hand. He bets 50. I call. He then goes 350. This guy's asking me to move. I ended up folding. Guy tells me he had ace 7,
Yep.
2 pairs. So I would have gotten crushed in that hand. But either way, just an irritating situation.
There you go. Major League Baseball, by the way, the card today, Jeff. Early afternoon action, which you're going to get on Wednesdays and Thursdays. First game's going to go under there. It's New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds, followed by the Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins. Then away you go. I did put out my card already because I know a lot of the people like to say, you know what, Donnie? You guys might be live on the show while some of these games kick off. Always check, because if that's the case, follow me at Donnie Rightside here. Follow at Jeff Nadu. We will have our action out there. And of course, Crossing Lines will retweet those out as we go. And of course, we're going to go over the card today a little bit later in the show. But I got to tell you, Jeff, soccer/football here in America has been nothing short of spectacular. We opened the show talking a little bit about it, where the books probably aren't happy. You had superstar after superstar after superstar. Absolutely, as I like to say, brilliant yesterday, Jeff. And it started with Kylian Mbappe there, and also record stuff here. Holland, unbelievable. Lionel Messi, as I was going to bed, Jeff, lighting the lamp repeatedly at that point. You see that picture right there? Messi is the GOAT. And by the way, we'll get into it a little bit more with Flash. But I agree with your take on this one as well, Jeff. Messi is one of the top athletes we've ever seen. Because to me, Jeff, athletes isn't, I'm 6'9", I can run a 4.3 40, and I can hit really hard. Athlete is what you do in your sport and how you dominate. Messi, Jeff, none better. I agree with you. And some people are like, oh, he's not a great athlete. What?
Well,
Come
anybody
on.
that says Lionel Messi is not the greatest soccer player of all time is a
He's
complete
tiny,
moron.
too.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, here's Donnie, and I think I've talked to you about this before with
Yeah.
athletes. There, being a professional there's a lot of really good professionals. There are about, in my lifetime, 20 people that I've seen in sports that are utterly dominant, and it's very difficult to do anything you can to stop them.
Yeah.
I would put some of the people in that would be Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. I will throw in Rob Gronkowski was an absolutely uncoverable, dominant player in the NFL at one point. Like just LeBron James, just total guys that are totally unstoppable.
Yeah.
I look at someone like Lionel Messi. He's a guy who I would travel to go watch play. I would spend a lot of money to watch play. You know, guys like that currently, Nikola Jokic, I'd pay money to go watch. I would pay money for certain people. Lionel Messi, I think, is on the short list. I have a list of the 3 greatest athletes of my lifetime. It's real simple. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Lionel Messi. I would also throw in Floyd Mayweather, maybe 1 or 2 others. No, Messi's unbelievable. I think Kylian Mbappe, though, I mean, his goal, I think it was the second goal, was just a complete laser. Just so fun to watch. And I'll give you one better. I mean, Erling Haaland, he is a physically dominant individual. He is huge. He looks like one of those like Vikings.
Nordic Vikings from back in the day.
Like he'd have that Viking hat on. Like he just looks like a Norwegian guy, like a huge, he's so impressive. It was fun to watch. And that's what makes the World Cup great. You have these utterly dominant players. You get another one today. Look, Ronaldo, you look at the last 5, 6, 7 matches, hasn't really featured a ton, but you have, again, another guy on a huge stage. You got some great players for Colombia. It's going to be a good day of games. But I'll tell you, and I'll tease this for the soccer segment, Donnie.
Yeah.
I've got a real gripe about these games today, and I'm going to tell you what it is in that soccer segment. Donnie, I don't know what we're going to do here because my baseball game goes off at 1:05. Do we want to get that in quickly here?
Well, we got baseball lined up, Jeff, coming up at around 12:35. So we got some plenty of time for that right now at this point. So, we got time for that. But Jeff hit one yesterday here. You know, profitable days on deck. I got some fun stuff coming up. We'll handicap that all the way through, which is why I wanted to let the people know that we do have that early action. And sometimes it was too early. We would get the Major League Baseball right away at that point, Jeff. But yesterday, that France game sort of had that feel to like, what, are they sleepwalking? And, you know, having Mina on yesterday, like some of these, like just monster nations in games that should absolutely dominate, coming out just a little bit slow, just to get their feet in the water, dip their toes in, as I like to say. 3-1 France over Senegal, Jeff. 4 goals in the second half. And I was watching that game, Jeff. 1-0, had that laser beam by Mbappe. And then all of a sudden you had a goal come in to make it 2-1. And before I could blink, Mbappe scored again. Like just lightning bolt right across the board. Fantastic stuff. But in that game, France and Senegal, Mbappe, man, he was on a showcase burner in that second half.
Well, yeah, you look at these group stage games, and I talked about it yesterday, and you see it where, you're a nation like Senegal, who's actually a pretty solid side. I'm even talking about some of the smaller teams that, the Jordans, the Uzbekistans, and we'll see. The goal is, Donnie, you want to, literally, you don't want to give up a goal. Once the goals come in, you kind of break down and you have to kind of go for it, and you have to go the other way. And that's kind of what happened. Senegal in qualifying just didn't play real quality teams. And when they did step up, they got kind of beat up. I mean, you look at a team today that we'll talk about, the Congo, very similar type of side. Africa, not a great continent in terms of they just don't play a lot of quality opposition. They broke them down. And look, Mbappe's so good. I mean, he's just going to fire from all over the place. That one goal, as I said, it was like a sniper. Zoning in on a guy, just boom, impressive. He is so good. I mean, they have so much talent there, whether it's Olise, Dembele, him up front. They're incredible. And that's the question. I mean, they're, again, the favorite to win this competition. I'd be curious to think about where Flash is kind of at this point after we're about at the, end of the group stage, right? I mean, what's today or tomorrow, the last day? Or as far as first time playing. So
yeah, exactly. And again, waiting for the U.S. goes Friday to Friday. So certainly on this show on Friday, we'll be previewing that and having all that good stuff here. But sometimes, Jeff, you got to reach out and say, you know what? I need a person that actually played the game at the highest level. And that's the guest that we bring to you right now on Crossing Lines. It's Flash Watson out here after an unbelievable debut on Crossing Lines, bringing that heat with the information we needed to know, Flash. We're expecting an encore today. Welcome back into the show on Crossing Lines, Flash.
If you want your house building, you get a builder. There's too many bakers that want to give you opinions about how to build a house. Stay in your lane, sort yourself out. And I'll tell you what, I nearly had a little Jeff Big Dog moment when you're talking about putting rounders on instead of me. You put flashback, we're going to have some rounders. No. No, it's the World Cup. All eyes are upon it. And I tell you what, I think most of the eyes that are watching the World Cup are absolutely loving it. What a day yesterday. And the whole thing about this World Cup for me, because I've got a bugbear about you hosting it in 94 and leaving zero legacy. You have Messi and Mbappe and Haaland all starring. I've gone goosebumpy. That is how you put soccer, football, in the hearts of the youths. Absolutely perfect day.
I got to ask Donnie,
yeah.
I got to go right out of the gate on this, the gripe I have. Flash just kind of highlighted the day it was yesterday. So many just superstars. It worked out perfectly. They all were on center stage. Throw in the fact that at 8 o'clock or whatever, 9 o'clock, you have the greatest soccer player in the history of the game, front stage, one game. Can I ask you, schedule makers, why are we scheduling England, Croatia for 4 o'clock and we're scheduling Ghana, Panama for 8 o'clock? What are we doing here? Put that game on at 4. Come on, man. What are we doing? Put on England, Croatia at 8. What are we doing?
Listen, why have we got 16 more teams? I mean, 16 more teams is just cluttering up the job. It's just absolute scandalous. Anyway, listen, congratulations to USA last week. I thought that they have been and put on the best team performance. Maybe close with Ivory Coast, I thought, who were very good as well. But everything you wanted and everything you feared, the fear didn't come true, and everything you wanted to see, they nailed it. Got off to a great start, by the way, by getting the own goal, settled the nerves. But I tell you what they did. They ran off the ball for each other. That tells you that we are in this together. There's trust, and every single person played their part. I saw some holes, Donnie. I'm not coming on as bullish as I was last week, because when they were 3-0 up, they should have killed the game, controlled the game, kept the ball, and yet Paraguay still had chances. That can't happen, 3-0 at home when you've absolutely steamrolled them. USA were like the bowling ball, and Paraguay were the Skittles. They were down, they were out. But for some reason, still gave them encouragement of getting back into the game. Please, don't do that against Australia.
I'll tell you the great thing about this too, Flash, is because you want to build momentum. And everything, oh, well, U.S. isn't a soccer nation here. We like to get involved when things go well, particularly. And I got married in 2010, and I was sitting there on South Beach. That was the last time that U.S. was making a run in the World Cup. Now, I'm not saying they can win the World Cup, but also at the same time is build that momentum. Same thing with superstars in countries. Hey, France didn't look that good in the first half there, Flash. Unbelievable second-half performance. They really kicked it into gear.
I beg to differ.
You did? Oh, I was seeing on Twitter, Flash, people killing France out here in the street.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I wrote? France looks so confident. Their body language came off at halftime like, if that's the best you've got, and I tweeted this out at halftime, I bet them at plus 105 at halftime, and I wrote, the body language of the French players was, if that's the best you've got, we'll see you in a while. It was like a fisherman baiting up the swim. Come out second half, they could have scored 7 golden opportunities. They were like a Ferrari at the lights, looking at you like that. Let you speed off, drop down, and boom. I thought it was the best performance from any team in the second half.
By the way, Jeff, let me ask him a quick question on this too, because I like the feels of sports here, right? Nothing beats like you grow up, you hit a home run in a minor little baseball game when you're 12 years old. Score a touchdown in high school. Ooh, it feels good. A home run in high school, hit the winning basket. Flash, in the professional leagues, and of course it's going to elevate in the World Cups. Tell me what it feels like to just blast one in with 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 people watching here where you are the superstar in that moment. You've done it. Give me the feels. What does that feel like? Most people never get it.
Boring answer is the same as the real one. You don't realize you actually finish off something because that's just your job. It's like, again, if you're an outsider looking in, that's a fan moment because they probably see it building up. For us, we just finish it off, and you probably have more elation after the game. That's why many of us, we couldn't sleep for 4 or 5 hours after the game because our adrenaline is there pumping and we're going through the game in our heads. And normally we go through it when the things we didn't do. So Mbappe missing them first 2 chances, he might be thinking more about them than the 2 that he actually scored.
Love it.
Boring answer, I know.
Flash scored 58 goals in his career. Pretty impressive.
Not bad with 2 broken legs.
Come on, Flash. Now we just need the lettuce to come back. That's all we need.
We got to at some point. we got to at some point get that video up of Flash's dive.
I've seen it many times.
See, this is but this is where things have got to stop here. There's too much. Jeff goes down a road of positivity, complimentary, and then he finds this negativity from somewhere. And by the way, the quote on this show should be, "Maybe I'm just paranoid." You think? You won't sit with your back to your door. If it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. Yeah, you've been through worse woods.
I know, but I just don't. It's just it's a head thing for me. I just don't like. I don't like sitting in parked cars. I don't like going to movie theaters. It's just how I am. But
listen, get over it. It's not happening. Enjoy yourself. You're always trying to be positive to people. Be like nice and this, that, and the other. You've got a heart the size of your head. Go and enjoy and spread it.
That's rare for him, but he completely delivered.
Knock him.
What do you go, Donnie? 3-0. He was unbelievable.
Look at that. Yeah. Look at it. He got a little Messi on the screen. Jeff's left and right at this point right now.
And I don't know.
Look at that! You got a little audio from yesterday when Mina joined us here.
I gave you a ton of credit.
Props.
Again. See, it's no. I know him better than most. Oh yeah, he went 3-0. Absolutely smashed it. I've never known him smash it before. 73 units last weekend. I only had one outright in the NBA. New York Knicks. Golf, we're over 120 units up this season, and Bud Cauley wins at plus 5,000 on the Sunday. Unbelievable run that we're on, and maybe you are the Blarney Stone that I keep kissing, because since I've been on this show, it's been nothing but wins. I think I'm 29-4 in the World Cup.
Well, you're killing it. You're doing a great job. We're going to talk a little.
Right, stop there now. That's it. That's good. That's good. Leave it, Donnie. Back to you.
No, I was going to talk about Portugal.
Oh yeah, well that's a shortcut. I'll be you now.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Portugal. So obviously, we had a lot of superstars yesterday. Another superstar on this side with Ronaldo. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm a little concerned, though, with their defense. A lot of qualifying, they struggled to get to give up goals. I mean, I'm talking about goals against teams they probably shouldn't give up goals to. They were a side that I thought surely were right up at the top. I picked them to win this whole thing. Where do you sit with Portugal right now? They have a game against the Congo. I think this is a lot like Senegal-France yesterday, where Congo just didn't play quality. Anytime they did play quality in qualifying, they gave up 3-4 goals. The Moroccos, they played Senegal, they gave up 3-2. I think this game goes a lot like France-Senegal. It might take a little while for Portugal, but I think once they get going, they're gonna score 2 or 3.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think that they'll win today by maybe 2 clear goals, but it won't be great. The problem you've got with Portugal is they always find a way to concede. I'm hoping it's a cruising 2-0 today. The outstanding talent throughout the middle. But I tell you what I've got Spain and Portugal and Turkey, to a lesser light, are all the same type of team that can be steamrolled later on in the competition, because you know exactly how they're going to play, and none of them 3 teams have actually got a centre forward. So when you get to the latter stages, first of all, you want to be keeping clean sheets. Well, Portugal don't do that. So there's a problem. Then they're carrying, they're almost like in a horse race, and you're horse number 1, but you're carrying baggage that other teams are not carrying. So, but outstanding midfield talent. But you know what they all are? They're all lightweight. Senegal, I would love to see that game, by the way. Senegal versus Portugal. That'll be unreal. Of that type of team. And Ivory Coast versus Portugal. Then we'll see clash of styles, and the brute force can just run over them. Should they win it? No. Could they? No. Will they go deeper than... I think they're quarterfinal side at best.
I think in this match, though, Donnie, Portugal over 2.5, minus 110. I think you maybe get a goal from the Congo because, again, as Flash said, they do give up goals, and they gave up goals in qualifying. I think they could put 2 or 3 on the board, and we've seen that in this competition, especially yesterday, where if you get 1 or 2 of them, you're going to go for 3 or 4. We saw it with that late game with Austria. So I could see this 3-1, 2-1, 3-0.
3-1's nice. I've gone with a -1 parlay today with Colombia. Yeah. What about Neto to score at any time? Neto, we like Neto. There'd be one of them midfield boys, and Neto pulls a trigger more than most.
By the way, you take a look at Portugal today, obviously the heavy favorite in this one. You saw the superstars Flash really shine yesterday. It'd be amazing to see what Ronaldo can do today. You know, he's itching to get out there. 1, 2, maybe 3 goals won't be enough to propel him. But we also have another game today, which Jeff's already angry about. 4 p.m. Eastern start. That's England and Croatia. The 3 Lions Flash out there. Ooh. Harry Kane and the boys. Also a favorite over Croatia. What are we feeling about England and Croatia today, Flash?
If I was in a restaurant and this was a dish that I got, I'd send it back to the chef and tell him that it's undercooked. This is raw. This is horrible. Croatia have their number, but Croatia haven't got the legs or the pace to go and hurt the weakness of England. This is a 1-0, maybe a 0-0, 1-1, both again, like we said with Brazil, Morocco. Shake hands, move on. England don't create. England haven't created 5 chances in their last 3 or 4 games. They are so reliant on Kane. They're also a little bit like we saw with Belgium the other day, and we mentioned this, square pegs, round holes. How are they not playing Jude Bellingham? Jude Bellingham is one of the best young talents in world football coming through. And he's not playing. And he's not playing because he's injured. He's playing because the spy, because he's German, remember? So England got a German manager. He's going to play 2 players, and Elliot Anderson's never played a World Cup game in his life. Yeah. And then they've got a defence. I'll tell you what England are to me. England are to me like a Chelsea of the Premier League. They stink of a Premier League team. And this looks like a Premier League game. So without the fireworks. So for me, I'd definitely be on the unders. I don't even think the number would be 2.5, you know. I reckon it might be 2.25. It might even be 2. Draw half time's another one. There's not enough creativity in England, and I don't think Croatia have got enough pace to go and hurt.
I think I will say, though, you have ageless wonders in like a Luka Modric, Perisic. Yeah. I mean, these guys have been around a long time. Some of the most constant midfielders. I mean, Modric is terrific. I mean, he was around years ago when they played in the semifinals. Look, the concern with them is at times at the back. Defensively, they're not great, Croatia. They never are. But I thought half a goal. I thought taking them plus a half a goal. I could see again. I completely
double
agree.
Chance. I think it's a draw all day long because I think both are going to be happy with a draw. And England haven't got the players that can go and hurt them. And also, I feel as if they're going to tiptoe because they just do not. If it ain't Rashford and it's not Kane, then who is it? Because
And Flash, I want to, and I know you'll agree here. I want to make another point. The other night, Friday night, as we talked about, Books got beat up in the United States. You look at on Saturday, Books made it all back. That late Qatar goal. Scotland was a pretty big public side. That won, but a couple others didn't come through. Brazil didn't get it done. I think you see Books kind of straighten it out today. A lot of people betting England in the market. This one's moving up. It seems like all England money coming in. I could see this absolutely 1-1. I think Croatia plus a half goal is a decent.
Yeah, double chance. That's probably the sensible way to go. But the other one is there's 2 things to look at. Obviously, it was a day for the punters yesterday. 4 straight favourites, bang, done here on the show I do. I just put all 4 together, plus 245 parlay. Thank you very much. Walk on, and there was never a sweat. But as a book, starting in a World Cup for a host nation, you're going to inflate the price where you're going to get as much money and as much business as possible because you're going to get new people betting on the emotion, then think the game's easy, they then get sucked in and they will win it tenfold. So for me, I bet them again, I told you at minus 105, they were plus 125. Then you said, I'm going to go with Paraguay. It went back out. An hour before the game, they were plus 115. I had to bet them again. How many other Americans' first bet was that plus 115?
It's beautiful stuff here, Flash. Talking some World Cup action with you. Portugal, Congo, 1 o'clock here, 4 o'clock, England, Croatia, 7 o'clock, Ghana versus Panama and Uzbekistan, and Colombia end the night at 10 o'clock, Flash. But I know also you love to go from one pitch over to maybe a pitching wedge, and that's the U.S. Open. It's my favorite competition in golf every single year. Why? Because they line these golf courses up to absolutely, Flash, torture those PGA professionals here. The last couple times at Shinnecock Hills, that's been, hey, the golf course got away from us, and the players paid the price, Flash. For me, Scotty Scheffler is the favorite. I said entering into the year, I didn't think he was going to win a major because I wanted to be contrarian. 2 down, 2 left. He's the major favorite here. What are we looking at, Flash? 2026 U.S. Open for you.
Yeah, we'll just put arm in arm and dance to that tune because it's my favourite sporting event of the year as well, because it's the elite and carnage. It's watching the elite sports people actually struggle with what they do day in, day out. You know, there's only been 3 players out of like 460 in the last 3 visits to Shinnecock that have broken par over the 72 holes. It's absolutely compelling viewing. I'm agreeing. I've actually faded 5 of the top 6 in the market, and if I told you that 8 out of the 10 of the last 10 winners have been first-time winners, meaning that you can actually go and find plenty value. And this was the first one. Brooks won, Wyndham Clark, JJ Spawn. The list is endless. DJ, this was his first as well. In the last 10 years, 8 winners. It's their first major, meaning that you're going to get plenty big odds. And if people are just wondering about, why is Flash talking about golf? I trained for 7 years to be a professional caddy, and I wanted to go on tour. So this was my chosen career when I retired in 2003. I've done British Open qualifying 7 or 8 times and I've caddied on every tour apart from PGA and European.
By the way, I love that. You got any questions on that, Jeff? That's fantastic. By the way, Jeff's muted right here by accident.
I never knew that.
There he goes. You got it.
I
didn't know that either. I love that.
It was my route to stay competitive.
Yeah.
Because of responsibility obviously on the caddy. Obviously, I had a son who went through the American college system as a golfer. He was all American, funnily enough, and he's got one of them rings that you need about 4 fingers to get in. But anyway, listen, I digress. I absolutely adore this. Everything, even the 3 days. I'm watching the wind's going to blow 30, 40 mile an hour. Yep. And Shinnecock is probably the iconic US Open venue. We are going to see players putt it off the green, chip it off the green, be in the rough. And listen, I'm not going to be heightist. We know you're not a big lad, Jeff, but if you was in the rough, we would only see that haircut. That's how deep it is. It's unbelievable, and I love it. I've gone with 10 outrights, right? I'm going to give you a couple, but I've gone with 10 because I have got to go with some of them that have never won before. And if you're getting at 250s or 150s, you only have to have $10 on, and it makes your weekend, and you're not going to get left holding the baby on Sunday. So if you want my picks, I've gone with Patrick Reed, Captain America. And if you wanted to go a little bit deeper than that, then go with Pulisic to score any time for America, because he's the Captain America of the football. So I'm going to go with Patrick Reed. He's around plus 4,000. Yes, he's already won a major, but I think he's got the right gritty determination you can do in top 10, top 20 as well, all at plus money. And I'm going with Xander, because Xander hits fairways, Xander hits greens. The only thing that stopped him winning this season has been his putter. Well, on these greens, if you 2 or 3 putt, you're going to be all right over the course of 72 holes. And don't despair if your player is maybe 45th on Saturday morning, because this is the type of event where you go out early on Saturday, you shoot 2 or 3 under, and you might go up 40 or 50 places on the leaderboard because the wind will blow in the afternoon and it will be carnage. So you're looking at someone might shoot 67 and then the leaders might shoot 77. So that 10-shot swing will come into full. So I've given you 2 top 20s as well. I'm going to go with Brian Harman at plus 500. Brian Harman doesn't hit it very far. You don't need to. Just go down the fairway, hit the greens, couple of putts. The other one is Shane Lowry. Loves it in the wind. British Open winner. Don't get much windier than the British Open unless you go to Shinnecock. Plus 240, Donnie and Jeff.
Yeah, Flash, I'm not a big golf guy, but I do know Xander very good in majors. He's been very consistent in the top 10. I think he'll be in the running for sure. I think that's a great pick. Back to football real quick before we go. Late night game here. Colombia, Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan, very interesting side, right? Cannavaro, Italian great, leads them.
Yeah.
They've got some decent players up front. That said, they strike me a lot like Iraq in terms of just not a lot of high-quality players. I will also point out, very underrated country, Uzbekistan. Beautiful. Central Asia I will get to someday. Just a beautiful place. That said, Colombia is just really good. So many going forward options. I think this game strikes out a lot like Austria last night and Norway. Again, I could see 3-1, 2-0, 4-1. I think Colombia put up a bunch of goals, and I think their defense is good enough where I'm ready to believe that they can grab a clean sheet here. A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah, I
these,
wouldn't go with both teams to score here.
yeah, I think like -1.5, -105. I like Colombia. I think they dispatch of Uzbekistan pretty easily.
Yeah,
Fantastic stuff here. Having some talk here on a Wednesday. World Cup and the U.S. Open, which does start tomorrow. Flash Watson, your handicapper / also caddy to get you through the U.S. Open. Certainly make sure you stick around with Crossing Lines. We're going to take a quick break here and hit the Major League Baseball card next. Flash, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be right back. Fantastic stuff there from Flash Watson here, giving it to you on the pitch and also, as I said, with the pitching wedge as well. Major championship starts tomorrow in America's Shinnecock Hills. We'll have much more coverage on that later in the week as well, Jeff. But Major League Baseball, it's where I like to cut my teeth in the summer as you sort of sit there post-NHL, post-NBA. Yeah, there's some WNBA action out there with Sophie Cunningham. Kill it yesterday with, Caitlin Clark, knock it off the tempo. We get it. But our focus is going to be on some Major League Baseball. Interesting stuff yesterday, Jeff, as we started the show off. Kyle Schwarber still leads Major League Baseball in home runs. Hit his 25th yesterday in an easy victory for the Philadelphia Phillies. And Don Mattingly has really made the difference in Philadelphia. That's my squad, the Phillies. It's not necessarily Jeff's squad. He's a Yankees guy, but Kyle Schwarber's still swinging that hot bat in the Phillies. Making a play now in the season, only 7 back from the Braves. They ain't catching the Braves, Jeff, but making a run here, 40-33 now. Good stuff.
Yeah, Mattingly's been really, really good for them. I actually like this game today. This game goes at 105. I'm going to actually grab the Marlins here, though. Couple of reasons. Look, first 2 games, Marlins have been a mess. They've lost 8-2, 7-0. They're not good offensively. A lot of the time you back the Marlins, you got to hope for a run or two, if that. That said, we have to talk. Look, for as good as the Phillies have been, I mean, why is Andrew Painter still pitching in this league? I mean,
he's got to learn, though. I agree with you. He's got to learn.
Right. And look, you like these over the years. I remember years ago, Dan Herron, like the Dodgers just couldn't realize Dan Herron sucked. They then traded him to the Marlins. They couldn't realize he sucked. Dan Herron was just getting shredded every night. You look at this Painter, last 3 starts, 13 innings. He's given up 15 earned, 5 home runs. Andrew Painter's fade material, period. You look at on the other side, Alcantara, he had a terrible May, but he's really kind of battled back here in June. He's been a lot better. A lot of people believe he's a trade candidate. Yankees have shown some interest in Alcantara. Throw in, I mean, the Marlins do have a pretty good bullpen. It's one of the better bullpens in baseball. I'm actually comfortable backing them. I think they get a rubber match victory here. I'm getting +110 on the Marlins. Painter sucks. I'll gladly fade him here. I like the Marlins here, Donnie.
Yeah, take a look at some analytical numbers on my card today, Jeff. Got 24 pitchers on the card, minimum of 30 innings pitched in 2026. Andrew Painter, 16th out of 24, 6.43 ERA, a 114 xFIP minus, which isn't terrible, but he still has that Sierra high at 4.58. And as you talked about Sandy Alcantara, he's at a 4.29 and 4.25 ERA. So the better pitcher on the mound today, no doubt about it, Sandy Alcantara there for the Marlins. And you're right about this. He needs to pitch well enough that they can move him at the deadline for some prospects because, Jeff, everybody needs pitching. Now, for me today, there's a couple of games that you think are interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick before we get to your games.
Yep.
I did think about, do I maybe just bet the over here? The one problem I have with Alcantara is lefties have beaten him up. Phillies have a lot of good lefties, obviously. Yeah. Schwarber, Harper, they got a lot of good lefties. So that is my concern. Could this be like a 7-4 type of game? I'm going to just hope the Marlins they're not an easy team to bet on. They just don't seem to ever give you runs, but we'll see. Either way, what do you got today?
Yeah, last 30 days, Jeff, for Alcantara on the mound against lefties, 93 batters he's faced, a 241 ISO, which is really high, and a 346 weighted on base percentage. We'll see how that goes. And the Phillies typically struggle, Jeff, with left-handed pitchers as opposed to righties. Alcantara is a right-handed pitcher. An interesting one today, Jeff, in St. Louis. San Diego's in town to play them. 88 degrees. We know it gets hot in the Midwest. But Jeff, 20-plus mile-an-hour sustained winds out to left center field
Wow.
could change some things. There's an opener in this game. You see the graphic up on the screen right now? Griffin Canning's the guy I want to go after. Look at that against lefties, Jeff. And again, to put things in perspective, an ISO power number for a batter is like 175. That's really good. So for a pitcher out of a 404, that's ridiculously bad. A weighted on base percentage of 451. So I did what I did yesterday. I like to couple up a couple guys that say, you know what? Can I get some bats to swing here with some plus money numbers? And if I take a look at Alec Burleson in that lineup, Jeff, 73 at-bats against right-handed pitching over the past, 30 days? 415 ISO and a 420 weighted on base percentage. And I paired it up with another lefty, Lars Nootbaar, 172 ISO, which is okay, but a high 366 weighted on base percentage. Looking to get one of those two guys. And if we're looking at that, you squeeze one or two out, you can get that. I just love the fact that we have great hitting conditions. Heat, humidity, and a wind blowing out. And the guy, once Canning gets in the game, he can't get lefties out, Jeff. I took two lefties in this game. I think it makes some sense here.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing, though, Donnie, I don't see Canning as a starter.
He's not the starter. There's an opener in this game. Yeah. He'll be the opener's going to pitch like an inning, and then Canning will come in for probably his normal 4 to 5
I was
minutes.
a little confused.
Yep, you got it.
No, 404. What a disaster. My God. Throw in the coupling, the weather conditions. Yeah, that could be a crooked number for St. Louis.
Yeah, just trying to bring up my card here that I did tweet out at Donnie Rightside here, and of course put the tagline.
What do we got on a
Crossing
team
X
total in
lines
that
at
game?
that.
4.5.
Probably going to be a decent number in that. But for me, the props were Burleson's a plus 140 price on the RBI, and Lars Nootbaar was plus 162. So it's just like you're trying to line one of those guys up and get the plus money and certainly try to take that down. Yeah, which again, it's not bad, Jeff. Bad pitching on the mound, but more importantly, sometimes like Wrigley Field, the wind's blowing out. It doesn't matter who's pitching. You get the ball in the air and it goes out. 88 degrees, 21 mile an hour winds blowing out. That should be some fun here that we can have action on. The Angels and the Diamondbacks here, Jeff, if we can set the table for this one. And I do think we have some interesting stuff we can get into, which is Eduardo Rodriguez. And if I take my contrarian team total of the day, which yesterday was the Phillies, who typically don't do well against some decent pitching, they hammered and easily hit that. I'm going to go Angels today, Jeff. Team total over 3.5. A little bit expensive at minus 142, but here's the reason why. Take a look at Eduardo Rodriguez out there. He's just had that tweet up. Not doing very well here with his alternate numbers. So let me just bring it up that I have. We're going to hit that. Okay. So have it listed up here, Jeff. 2.55 ERA. Very good at Major League Baseball. But you take a look at his Sierra number, 4.77, which means, Jeff, getting a little bit lucky with getting guys out. So if you focus on the lineup for the Angels, it's not that great. But at least in the last 30 days going up against left-handed pitching, Neto's got decent power numbers, Trout's got decent power numbers, Peraza, and also Mancini. It's one that you would look at and say to yourself, Jeff, I don't know if I love this game because it doesn't match up perfectly, but that's why it's contrarian. I'm taking a look at a pitcher with a good ERA and a bad Sierra and say, sooner than later, it's going to catch up to him. And it might today. And Jeff, I don't need 6 runs. I need 4 runs to get it done. I went ahead and took the Angels today on that.
Yeah, this game screams over to me. Again, I'm not going to play it. But again, you have 2 pitchers on the surface that look really good. 2 pretty decent lineups. Again, I didn't play this one, but I kind of side with you on it. I want to shout out, Donnie, a couple of folks in the chat.
Go ahead.
Having a little fun. Somebody said you just sound like an announcer. I am.
I've honed my skills, Jeff, over the years. Like I consider myself like, following in where my job on this show is come in here, bring the energy, be professional, and tee my guy, the BMOC, up, which he's no longer the BMOC, which pains my heart. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you love calling me that. We have Amelia.
I'll never stop.
She says, I love Flash today. I agree. Frank Fiordolino's in here, my old pal. What up, Frankie B? How you doing? Good.
Building it. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of people, Jeff, watch also on Twitter as well. So if you're watching, like, subscribe, whatever you do on Twitter, follow along, retweet. It always helps us out. And Jeff, one more quick one I have today too as well is my total of the day, which is going to resume this afternoon, which is San Francisco and Atlanta. That's 2:00. Need 5 more runs in that game over the final 8 innings, and then I'll cash that ticket in. But today, Jeff, Kansas City and Washington, 85 degrees, light wind blowing out the right field at 8 miles per hour. But what makes the most sense in this game, Jeff, is fading really bad pitchers. Luinder Aviela is on the mound today, Jeff. And I told you, I have 24 pitchers on the card rated here. He's 23rd. 6.19 ERA, and that disaster Sierra of 5.14. You look at that Nationals lineup, 7 out of the 9 batters plus hitters against right-handed batters. Flip it over to Kansas City, which I haven't liked them all that much this year, but Zach Littell, Jeff, I told you, 24 pitchers on the card. He's 24th. I got 23 and 24. I got to take this game over 9.5. Just going to have the two worst pitchers on the card in one baseball game. I'll take it any way I can get it, Jeff. I will.
Right, and you look at the weather too. I mean, weather's nice. Balls should be moving around. Yeah, Littell sucks. I like the Nationals against lefties, but their lineup's pretty good against really anybody. I like it. That's like a 9-5, 8-4 type game, something like that.
How you been doing during Major League Baseball season? Watching your Yanks out here? By the way, Yanks playing good baseball even without Aaron Judge, which is pretty interesting to me.
I've been betting baseball, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I have a lot of just situational stuff.
Yep.
I will tell you, Donnie,
I know you do.
I got to tell you, I think you go back to the well with that Dodger Rays under. I mean, last night, it was
Ohtani on the mound.
Yeah, an easy one. Yeah, Ohtani's been terrific. I love Shane McClanahan. He is fantastic. He's been a big guy for me in the first five. I've liked backing him. The problem with the Rays, as I said yesterday, they just don't score a lot of runs.
Yeah.
And you have two pretty good bullpens there. So, I don't really mind even going with an under 7.5 there. Go back to the well with it.
Yeah, good stuff here. And by the way, starting quickly out as well as Jeff, we're actually in the bottom of the first inning with the Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. Didn't have any action on that one. Miami and Philadelphia gets underway in about 20 minutes here. Same thing with that Washington game, Jeff. About 20 minutes at 1:05. Kansas City and Washington. Hopefully we get some good runs right off the bat. Cash and tickets, Jeff, before dinner.
Marlins, baby.
That's what we absolutely love. Look at that, Jeff. Going against me. It's disrespectful, though. Come in here, you cheer against the U.S., you cheer against the Phillies, man. How disrespectful can you be?
It's business.
Business, not pleasure, and that's right. By the way, you want to talk business here? Flip it over to the NBA and get some hot topic talk here. We just saw the New York Knicks, who we are going to have. And by the way, Friday, I'm sure we have some great clips of the parade, which is going to take place on Thursday for the Knicks. But The Ringer, Jeff, very popular podcast. Pretty soon we're going to surpass that, I should say. Top 100 basketball rankings, top 5, as listed in order. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 1. Wemby 2, Jokic 3, Doncic 4, Jalen Brunson in the top 5, Jeff. How do we feel about this top 5?
I actually think it's very good. I think the top 10 is the 10 players that I would have.
Okay.
Maybe throw one or two others maybe in around the 10 range. That said, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA to me. I would put him number 1.
Yeah.
I've said before, and I don't know if I'm exactly on board, but there's a great Reddit thread about there's a guy that says that he believes Jokic is the best player in the NBA since Michael Jordan. And wow. I don't know that it's that far off. I've always said that, to me, the 5 greatest players of all time are Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, and Stephen Curry. I've always will say that, and I always will. I look at Jokic. I just don't know how can you with a straight face put anyone over him? He's a dominant athlete. He is the face of the league. I always put him on. But outside of that,
defense, Jeff, that keeps him back a little bit, though. You know what I mean on Jokic, where he's so filthy on offense. Maybe he's not a good defender. Because the one thing about Wembanyama, he's going to be there sooner than later. It's interesting, though, to see him number 2. So ahead of Luka Doncic, and I got Luka hasn't won anything. I get it, but I do think a lot of respect is coming for Jalen Brunson. Hey, small guard can't win in the NBA. You got to rely on big men or power forwards or 6'7", swing men there with a 2 or 3. Brunson's getting a lot of respect off this run, and why not, Jeff? In the biggest, it seems like he always produces in the biggest moments.
Yeah, I would absolutely have Brunson in there. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is obviously top 5. I think the top 5 is really good. Yeah. The one knock that I would have, and look, I love Kawhi Leonard. Yep. I want to make this clear, Donnie. I followed Kawhi Leonard since he was at San Diego State. I thought he was a transcendent player. I think he still is. The knock on Kawhi, though, is the asterisk of I think he's what could have been. He just hasn't played enough. Yeah. I think we're still looking at Kawhi Leonard, and we're giving him the benefit of the doubt because of the era and that sort of thing and what he's kind of meant to basketball. I would probably throw maybe a Tatum or maybe even Cat into the top 10. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I think 13 and 14, Brown and Tatum. I agree. Jason Tatum, and again, injuries and couldn't play in game number 7. It would have been really interesting, Jeff, if he plays game number 7. They beat the Philadelphia 76ers and they play the New York Knicks. It really helped the Knicks out that the Sixers won and were out of gas and they were able to just put the Sixers away quickly. But I do find it fascinating, that list, which also has LeBron James barely cracking the top 20, Jeff.
I was just going to say, Donnie, are we being serious? If that'd be the knock on the list is is there really 20 players better than LeBron James?
I don't
if we're
know.
being honest.
I don't think so.
Like my
Scotty
whole
Barnes
thing is
over
like,
him.
and
Kevin
yeah,
Durant. Come on, KD.
If you're going to put Kawhi Leonard in the top 10,
yeah,
like, I don't know. It's look, it's these lists are always like very much just preference, right? But I think the top 10 is very good. That's the top 10 I would probably have. Again, I'd maybe pull Kawhi out. Kawhi's right around like 8 to 11 to me, but the top 5 is great. I would just put Nikola Jokic 1. I'm a big Euro guy. I think Dirk Nowitzki, we definitely never give enough credit for. Dirk Nowitzki is one of the greatest players of all time. We don't give him the credit of being literally the first Euro to do what he did. There's a lot of things about the Euros we don't give them credit for. Drazen Petrovic was the greatest shooter of all time up until Stephen Curry. Drazen Petrovic only played several years in the NBA. The problem with this new age NBA is we've forgotten about those players. I would also put Anunoby a little higher. Anunoby's the best defender in the league.
And again, clutch from 3-point range, which maybe you didn't expect here. That's it. The Knicks are built exactly the way you're supposed to be as a contender. That didn't have to tank to get to the top. Everything just worked. Leon Rose deserves a lot of credit for that. Again, me in the chat box here having some fun. Bronny James, Jeff, top 25? No, top 25 in the G League. Top 25 Euro, Bronny?
Well, I'll go back to what I said when LeBron James Jr. was drafted.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been drafted. Look, he's been better than I thought. I thought he would do really anything. But again, you're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the son of a star of what LeBron is. Look, I always will say, Donnie, in all walks of life, the sons of important people are generally pretty underwhelming. If we look across history, being the son of a successful person's hard. I would know I am one. My dad was a powerhouse. To follow in his footsteps and have the same name is almost difficult for me because my dad was such a powerhouse. That said, I mean, Donnie, Denny Avdija is really the 22nd best player in the NBA. That's a little crazy.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great lineup, and it's certainly something you can argue
out of
over.
Bio and Stephen Cass over him.
Yeah. No, it's again, Jeff, as they say, it's their list, Jeff. It's not our list, so we can rip into it, and then they can get angry at that. But that's why we like to argue over the stuff. And by the way, at the end of the show today, which again, we have another half hour to have some fun, get over hot topics. Ask your questions in the chat box for Jeff and myself. The boys behind the scenes will grab a couple of those. We'll answer. We'll have a fun little Q&A to end the show. Always the best way to go, Jeff. But other topics do pop up from time to time, which sort of, blend in. Yesterday, we talked Brandon Sorsby, right? It's like, hey, you know what? Should that guy's going in the supplemental draft? Should nobody draft him because he gambles and basically kicked out of football and the lawyers will be involved? How about in the NBA, Jeff? And you know this story. You've watched it. Terry Rozier, $100 million contract, helping the boys out for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever G's you can do. He got caught. But how about this? A tweet from the NBA Central. Terry Rozier is reportedly trying to return to the NBA. Jeff, how can he come back to the NBA under federal indictment from the FBI? And you know as well as I do, when the feds come after you with a case, it's very rare that they lose. Talk to me on Rozier thinking he can get back in the NBA. Who the heck would take this guy?
Well, I think it's important to understand their allegations, which, again, we need to give him the benefit of the doubt. That said, you're 100% right. When the feds come, they've already built the case. He's likely – look, I will say before the indictment was superseded, I did think that if anybody had a case, it was him. That said, we've gotten a lot more details about his behavior and who he was connected to. Look, Donnie, we don't talk enough. When this story dropped, I was the prominent person in this country reporting on this. I was on Fox News. Pablo Torre was getting information from me, period. I still have the knock on this whole thing. Throw in, it also hurts him that most of the people involved in this conspiracy have already pled guilty. Look, the truth of the matter is, if the allegations are true, Terry Rozier left the game early and was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do so. No, if those allegations are true and he either pleads or is found guilty, he will never play in the NBA again. We saw the NBA really drop the hammer on people like Jonte Porter.
Yes.
They'll drop the hammer on Terry Rozier. And Donnie, I want to say one other thing.
Yep.
The biggest thing about these indictments that you see with the NBA players, the Chauncey Billups, the Damon Jones, the Terry Roziers, the Jonte Porters, people say, why are these people doing this when they have so much money? So you look at a Rozier, Terry Rozier makes 25, 30, 40
Yes, he
million dollars a
does.
year.
Yeah.
Terry Rozier, have to understand, he didn't do this for money for him to go, buy a car with. Terry Rozier, like all the people in this indictment, is a degenerate gambler. All the people in this indictment have gambling issues. Chauncey Billups has had it for years. Damon Jones has had it for years.
Yeah.
My guess is Terry Rozier was said basically, look, you owe us money. Look, just because you have 25 million doesn't mean you have that liquid. It's tied up in real estate or different things. They probably just said, look, take half out of a game early. No one's going to notice. We'll give you a few $100,000. Your debt's wiped clean, and that's that. No, Terry Rozier, if he's found guilty or pleads guilty, should never play in the NBA again. You have to drop the hammer on these people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the appearance also. It's not the player doing it here. It's who's going to do it next. And just if you're going to be in bed with gambling, you must understand the appearance must be clean. Catch you, you're gone. Because it's like, hey, that guy went 1 for 19 and just keeps shooting up threes. Oh, he must be in the bag. You don't want that getting out there because it ruins the integrity of the league while they're in bed with the sports books here. It's just the way it goes. Now, Jeff, it's 1 o'clock right now.
Donnie,
Yeah, go ahead.
You do know, like, if you read the indictment into this case, it's so interesting because I did some research on one of the people in this indictment, De Niro Laster, who is a boyhood friend of Terry Rozier. They're both from Cleveland.
Uh-huh.
De Niro Laster is his friend. I had thought, maybe he had heard something and just acted on it. He went to sports touts and did what he had to do. But then you start reading into like certain witnesses they were trying to like almost shake down and not to testify. It's, but De Niro Laster's the guy. He was a player at Kentucky. They've known each other for years. He was the conduit to like these big sports touts. The problem you have in these cases too, Donnie, is there's one insular person. His name is Shane Hennon. He's a federal informant. He's been a federal informant for years. I've talked to people he testified against. One guy got 20 years over Shane Hennon.
Yeah.
Shane Hennon is an informant. He's brought all these cases to the FBI. These guys are cooked, whether it's the mob guys, whether it's Terry Rozier. My advice to all these people, I'm not an attorney, but my advice would be plead guilty and hope the federal government sees some help for you and doesn't send you to prison.
Just bounce out of it at this point right now. Jeff, you hit the topic right on the head. Sometimes you give those words that you can flip over on the breaking news. Well, no surprise here for a guy, I guess should be a surprise, that's made maybe $1 billion in his career. Ring Magazine article I'm reading right now through Twitter. Clark County prosecutors have filed felony charges against Floyd Mayweather after he allegedly wrote a $200,000 check, which later bounced. Mayweather faces theft valuing $100,000 or greater charge, along with a charge for passing a bad check with intent to defraud, both stemming from a December, Jeff, 2020, not 2025, 2024 purchase at a luxury boutique out there in Vegas.
Yeah, I think I read he was trying to buy an AP, a watch.
Yes, he did. Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I'm much quicker in a story like this to really say to ourselves, I think we've got to let this play out. Look, Floyd Mayweather, I don't think Floyd Mayweather like goes and accesses his Wells Fargo account. I think he has people that do that stuff for him. I think this was probably just as simple like the money was supposed to be transferred. I assumed it was there and it wasn't. The bad check thing is always interesting because I think when it comes to a rich person, I think you always have an out to just say like, I didn't know the money wasn't there. Like people handle that for me and just play stupid. Now, Donnie, if I'm some, guy that makes $400 a week and I'm writing checks for thousands of dollars on closed accounts, then yeah, I should probably get in trouble for writing.
Here's the thing, Jeff. Yeah. Here's the thing, though, I want to ask you, because I would agree at this point, like, hey, man, who didn't pay my, American Express Black Card the last month and why is it getting declined? I'm good for it. Understand this, too. He does have a history with this, certain jeweler, which probably bought a lot, which means you get extended a lot at that point. But here's the issue I have, though. Like, if you write a check and it bounces, and that jeweler calls you up like next Friday, hey, man, that's $200,000. It didn't cash. What gives? Hey, my management team, what's the deal here? I'm coming over right now with my credit card to handle that. Jeff, this has been going on since December of 2024 that this bill has not been paid. That's where I say to myself, what's going on? Because this article isn't written from last week like this happened. I'm trying to get out from it. We're talking well over a year where this $200,000 hasn't been paid. And his lawyers are saying to us, well, it'll all be worked out. What? You don't pay somebody $200,000 for over a year because you bounced the check. You should clear that up right away. Why are we still talking about this then if this was December 2024, year and a half?
I think one thing that I've always been fascinated about with Floyd, and look, I've said before, I think he's one of the greatest athletes of all time. He's that defensive and that great. But
Yeah.
one of the biggest mysterious things about him over the last 10 plus years is his finances. Because we hear every other year that he's broke,
correct.
right? He's got no money. Yep. And you kind of think to yourself, like, it's got to be a wild life where he's spending a ton of money. I mean, he's, as you said, I mean, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars in his life. But then you look at like I follow Donnie, one of his girlfriends, right? I don't know if they're together anymore. They've been together recently. Beautiful woman. In fact, she's one of my top 5 women in the world right now. Just a beautiful woman. And like, she'll show all the time, like Floyd bought her a brand new penthouse in Malibu, a Bentley. And then like, they just break up and like, she's not going to give that shit back. It's like, how many women has he done that for? How many kids is he? I mean, he's talked about, buying a ton of real estate for his grandchildren. I think the biggest mysterious thing about him is he actually broke, or is this just like an easy story and he's not really broke and it was just a bad communication with his people? I don't know.
It's amazing to be like cash poor with that much money, but if you're buying buildings and all that stuff, your money is tied up. And as you know, like liquid funds are much different than I have $1 million in my 401k. Hey, I'm a millionaire.
That's what I think we have here. Yeah, I think that's what we have here.
But he's still fighting at this point, so he means money. But Jeff is right. Like Mike Tyson got into a lot of trouble back in the 1980s. The stories are still around where it's like he just buys a new Bentley. Him and his boys go out for the night. And he says, you know what? Take me home and keep the car. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80,000. Who knows how many times he did that, regardless of how much money he made. That goes quick, man. Hey, let me buy you this Gucci bag. Let's go fly to France and we'll have dinner. I'll fly you back. I'll get you this condo here. Hundreds of $1,000s out the window. That's hard to make back up. I don't care how much money you made. And also, as Jeff points out, how many times has he done that? Like, I'll never buy a girl a car again. Well, maybe he bought 15 of them already, Jeff, Bentleys that he gave away. It's like, whoa, what's going on? And racking up all these fees. But it's a crazy story where I would be okay with it if it didn't take a year and a half and we're still talking about it. That's all.
Floyd Mayweather gifting a Bentley to a woman is the same thought of like when I'm at the shore, Donnie, every morning I go to First and Atlantic, Baronados, and I get myself a coffee. Okay, the coffee's $2.25. I hand them $3 and say, just keep it. Put it in the tip machine thing,
Like spender.
That's like kind of the level of what we're talking about here. And you're 100% right. I think when you're like a Floyd Mayweather, you just assume that like the money will never run out, right?
Correct.
And as you alluded to, I don't think people realize like being liquid is a lot different from, so like if a guy makes 20 million a year, like a Terry Rozier, like how much is that in real estate? Like how much is he buying? Like he's got to pay bills. He's got to pay his agent.
Investment accounts.
Yeah, right. So it's like you don't necessarily have that in your bank account, I guess. But I'm always going to believe that, like, I think the Floyd Mayweather being broke stuff is like just untrue. I just think he's cash poor. That's what I think.
And the one thing is true. Like Floyd Mayweather, not a scholar by any means. And even some of the smartest people, Jeff, you see it every day. Like Baker Mayfield had money stolen from him. I don't think Baker's a stupid guy. Floyd is a very good business guy, but you have a team watching your money. You know what happens first, Jeff? Boy, Floyd just got wired in $75 million. Yep, some's supposed to go here, some's supposed to go. Let me just set a few $100,000 for myself and just mark it as like miscellaneous and nobody will ever see it. Well, you do that over 20 years and all of a sudden, like, wait a second. Why am I trying to pay bills here with all that? Well, Floyd, your money, where did my money go exactly? Oh, it's the same way. Like Mike Tyson was making so much money. Don King was stealing left and right. But Jeff, while he was fighting, there was so much money that nobody could track it. Then Tyson starts to hit some rough times and he's going to jail. Like, okay, give me my money. There's none there. They're stealing from him left and right, his team. No doubt about it.
Of course, because he's so opulent that you'd have to figure someone's stealing from him.
Oh, he's not going to miss it. Flights, jets. Yeah.
This all goes to Floyd in terms of like, Donnie, he's 49 years old. He's not 19. He's not 29. Like I look at a guy like Allen Iverson. I think we have to talk enough about like the way, if you look at him now, like we've all heard of the Reebok deal that he has where like they've kept the money for him because in the end, like he's done the right things. Like, yeah, he's had occasional times where he spent a little too much money, but he's kind of grown up eventually. And it's like, about at what point are you going to grow up? I always tell anyone out there that wants to watch a good TV show about this. I don't love like the later seasons, but like the first 3 seasons, Ballers was a great show, man.
I love Ballers.
On HBO. Yeah. Like the first 3 seasons, it was very like agent player driven where Spencer Strasmore was involved with like being in the finance world, and like
The Rock,
protecting money. Like I thought the show was really good the first couple of years, and they showed that really well.
A couple other quick breaking topics we'll talk about. George Pickens, who I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. Well, he's back in there. He signed under the franchise tag for the Dallas Cowboys. Just getting the juices flowing, Jeff. Like we're midway through June. Like I don't consider June football month. I consider July because, Jeff, in 2 weeks, we're going to start a month where the teams are in football camp here, but George Pickens will attend Cowboys training camp here, and he doesn't plan on holding out, which is something people like to do with the Cowboys when they want the money from Uncle Jerry.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I've always been under the camp of, look, when you play at the NFL, like obviously it's a little different than other sports.
Yeah,
we've obviously understand what the rigors of playing the NFL are, of CT and all that stuff. I'm always believing that get the most money you can. And look, George Pickens was absolutely unbelievable last year. He finally became the receiver we had hoped he'd become. 93 catches, 1,400 yards. He was fantastic. I will continue to say the Cowboys are very concerning to me.
They always are. They always look good. They always look good.
That offense is legitimate, man. And I feel like they finally have a good coach. I'm really high on that group. I love Pickens. Go and get your money. But yeah, it looks like he's going to get the franchise tag. Not a bad little consolation prize. He'll get a nice deal here very soon. He's worked very hard.
Chat podcast here firing away. Thank you for everything in here. Crossing lines. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Growing the show day by day. Like, comment, get after it. Retweet. We're going to put our clips out there. Spread the wealth and the knowledge. Nice for any money, just a retweet. Get it out to the people saying, you know what? Donnie and Jeff back in charge here in the summer. I want to get in before the big bang in August, September, and October, and November, and football season starts at this point. Jeff, real quick on this one. World Cup, no surprise, getting monster ratings at this point. We had Flash on there. When the United States is doing well and the superstars are pouring it on, we want to watch. I am not a soccer fan. I love the World Cup. You give me the best of the best. National pride, I'm in on this. Look at that, Jeff. 18 million viewers on the U.S.'s game versus Paraguay.
Yeah, and I think, and that's where I go back to where I said today, it was the right idea to put on the U.S. Friday night at 8 p.m. Like, it's a perfect time. Why are we putting on a team in England, right, who, nationally, I mean, you have to remember as well.
I love it at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't. It's stupid. Most people are at work, driving home from work. This game should be at 8 o'clock. Ghana, Panama, I'm not saying no one cares about, but they should just switch them. That's all I'm saying. It's a dumb idea. But I think the 18 million is more impressive because, I look at, in Lancaster where I live, Pulisic is from Hershey, which is right
close by. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, they had a watch party downtown, and it was really well received, but it was on one screen, right? How many more people would have watched it at home, right? How many people had watch parties where it was on one screen? That counts for one screen, right, Donnie?
Yeah, correct. But
it's pretty impressive. 18 million?
Yeah, big data is changing a lot here, but everybody's watching, no doubt about it. By the way, Jeff, quick update here in Major League Baseball. You're right, Andrew Panner getting smacked early, 2-0 Marlins to start that game in the top of the first. And Kansas City, Washington, which I told you, over 9.5 is my total of the day, 1-0 in the top of the first inning. So we are a live show. You might be watching it on replay a little bit later today, but whenever big things happen, we keep you up to date on everything you need to know. Go ahead, Jeff.
Why again, Donnie? The Phillies eventually wised up, didn't they, with Taiwan Walker?
Yes, you can't lose. Yeah, you can't have a scheduled loss in Major League Baseball. Painter's doing that for him. You're right about it. I agree.
Yeah, he sucks. I mean, he's not good at all.
He's brutal right now. Jeff, now you ready to go viral on some stuff here, which I love these topics. And I know we got a video coming up right now on this. So trending topics, here we come. You see Grandpa, Jeff? You see that screen? That was Grandpa. Live video going around where he was at the Mexico game. And, lady standing next to it. Grandpa's like, hey, forget about what's going on the pitch. What's happening right here? I want to keep this as a memory that will always last, Jeff. Grandpa caught in 4K. Respect? Disgraceful? What do you think?
The only disgraceful thing about this is we're in a society now that is way too comfortable. Why are people filming other people recording? I hate when people zoom in on people's texts. That's
on a plane, he's fighting with his wife on the plane. Come on, man, leave the guy alone over there.
That is so out of line. I'm I look, the guys, you see this at like Eagles games. You see like an old guy like zooming in on like the dance team and stuff.
Used to have a
Like,
fire dance team with the Eagles.
yeah, and I've also will say, like, I think one of the most dangerous things in the United States is the fact that old people have access to the internet. It shouldn't be allowed.
Wait, what?
People,
what kind of take is that?
it's
Why
a great
can't old
take
people get on the internet? What's up with that?
because they do things in public like that are super weird and creepy. Like,
you wouldn't do that though. I see you with the great
no,
rack comments all the time out here.
that's
People
different.
saying,
I wouldn't
stop.
That's different. I wouldn't like take my phone out and record like and save stuff on my phone. I don't do that. The great rack thing is just for clicks. Like I don't actually care that much. Like, I like big boobs, but like, I don't.
Yeah, do you ever sit at the board, got at a poker table and just launch one across the room like, great rack over there? And then like sort of put your head down? No?
I tell my mother all the time.
You tell your mom that? That's not nice.
No, I tell my mom all the time, Donnie, like, because my mom, like me, is I get it from her. She's a Spitfire. She'll tell you something in public,
yep.
you know. Her.
Yep.
Like, I tell her, if you get caught in 4K as the Karen, don't call me.
Yeah. Change your name.
And this is what I mean by older people having phones. Like, they just don't really understand. Like, I know that in public, everything I do can be filmed. And I know that if the right person knows who I am, they're going to film it.
Yes.
Okay. You got to be very careful in how you move in public. And that's why I am very careful. This world has made me very cynical. So in terms of older people, like, they do stuff and they don't really think about it. Like, that guy doesn't really think that's a big deal. But how do we know that kid's not 14? You know, and then
social media is changing at this point too, Jeff, because a lot of people don't know. Like, when we were doing different things together here, and your boy DRS didn't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Jeff and I were frequent down there on North Broad Street, walking in buildings like, that Jeff Nadu right there. Yep, that's Jeff Nadu. We've been in public together. We've watched Jalen Brunson as a Villanova player play at Temple here. We've been around the block, but now, Jeff, the cameras are getting better, catching in 4K. People are probably going to run up on you, just want to take your picture, not ask you, appropriate things, but you're good at that. You handle it well. Grandpa getting called 4K,
Donnie,
man. Love to see it.
A funny story just out of nowhere. Like, a lot of the time, like, when I'll go to a casino or I go out my town, like, people know who I am or whatever. But
yeah,
I'm walking yesterday on Bay Avenue. I take long walks during the day. I like looking around. I like looking at houses and stuff. I'm walking down Bay Avenue. I look to my left. There's a kid, about 20. Just Nadu, what's going on, man? How you doing? I'm like, whoa, like, out of nowhere. Like, they just come out of nowhere. They just, like, pop up. It's like, you got to be careful. Everybody,
you got to make Jeff. You got to make sure when you go up, make sure you're tipping real well places, because they'll dime you out quick. Hey, Jeff just had him and his girlfriend in here, took some pictures and set them out on the internet. Or Jeff didn't tweet. He said he'd shout me out and didn't. Like, there's a lot of people out there haters. Jeff doesn't go right.
Nowadays, though, no. The problem with the internet nowadays is people used to be fair with the way they did things. So, like, if I went and tipped badly, like, okay, you could call me out for it. But now these people just straight up lie. Like, oh, Nadu is a scammer. He did this. I don't even know this person. I never talked to him in my life. Well, show proof. I don't have it, but he did it. It's like, you just got to know what's real and what's not on the internet, I guess.
I'll tell you what's real on the internet right now. And again, I know you love yourself some Scottish soccer here, but my goodness, Jeff, you're not a beer drinker, to the volume maybe that these guys, because why? Look at this NBC News tweet, Jeff. Sam Adams, not a guy, the actual beer company, says that Thursday to Sunday, the Tartan Army drank 4 times as much Boston Lager as it normally sells during a typical 4-day holiday stretch like the 4th of July. Understand this. Sam Adams is Boston-based. They love themselves some Sam Adams. They are 4 times as high now on a holiday because why? The Scots are in town and they're drinking, Jeff. I love it.
Yeah, and this is what's great about the World Cup. I mean, the UK people, they like to drink.
Get the economy going.
Donnie, I drank in my early 20s, and then I didn't drink for most of my 20s up until I was like 31, 32. Yep. I lost a bunch of weight, and now I go out. I'll tell you right now, man, there's one thing I love is a good Stella. I love beer, man. I drink them when I go out. One of my favorite things to do, Donnie, down here is go for a run for like an hour or so.
Yeah.
Come home.
Yeah.
Get myself a nice cold beer, a couple of pretzels, and just hang out on my porch, man. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's one of the simple things about life. I love beer. I know the Scots do as well. They can drink Scottish, Irish. That's a perfect place to put them. Boston, another great scheduling quirk.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my unit here fixed, Jeff. Like where I'd be able to bring up like some music and stuff like that a little bit later, because Coach SD's and like crack a beer. Like I want to go, like I'm gonna have that sound effect come up here sooner than later at this point. But Jeff, I know you like your Stellas. You enjoy them on Saturday nights, hanging out with the public out here. I used to be a drinker, which social drinker, not an alcoholic. Love vodka, love flavored drinks. You know, my Cuban background here leads me right over to a good spicy rum. I'm always down with that. But Jeff, the one thing I love is I'm an eater. I used to eat all the time. But I said, you know what? 3 years ago, Jeff, I'm weighing in 230, 235, 236. Too much for me. Started fasting, eat one time a day. Eat whatever I want. It's fantastic. I enjoy it. Gives me a lot of energy. And now I'm down around 190. So my lowest was around like 180, like 50 pounds that I lost. But, Jeff, I love desserts. When I was growing up as a kid, one of the best desserts you could get, Jeff, was a McDonald's apple pie, the fried one. That when they made it hot and gave it to you, you might not have your tongue for a week because it was like molten lava poured into your mouth. They are bringing it back, Jeff. I can't wait for it. But the question for me is, not if you enjoy McDonald's apple pie. What does Jeff Nadu get when he goes out and they go, dessert menu is here? What do you get? What's your favorite?
You know, Donnie, I hate to be this guy, but I'm
Come on. I knew you were going to do this here. I just
don't eat sugar much anymore. I'm sorry. It's since I lost weight, like I'm just in.
I need a chocolate bar or something.
Well, no, and I'll answer the question. I just don't. For me, it's not worth it. You know, I just don't eat it. It makes me feel really bad. I will tell you though, and I probably will do it tonight just because it's my final night here for a while, and I'm just hungry for it. I love a good like rich chocolatey brownie, some ice cream maybe. Yeah. I will tell you too, I look forward to it every Thanksgiving. Shout out to Costco. They have this pumpkin cheesecake.
Oh, so talk to me.
Bro,
talk to me. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm a big pumpkin guy. Like I actually.
By the way, you're a big pie country out there, by the way. You are big pie country out there, man.
Yeah. Like pumpkin pie is one of my favorite
things.
I
love pumpkin pie.
A little Cool Whip.
Yeah.
But this pumpkin pie cheesecake with like the cinnamony crust.
Yep.
I had a girl, Donnie, I dated. She would buy me pumpkin candles. She knew I love pumpkin. I just do.
You're a pumpkin spice guy, Jeff, in the fall? You get the pumpkin spice going?
I can't explain how big of a pumpkin spice guy I am. I love pumpkin spice.
Didn't know you get that. Look at that. By the way, Chatbox, Coach not a pie guy out here either, he says it here. By the way, Coach says ice cream is go to Jack Falk. I don't eat dessert anymore. I used to eat ice cream every day. Sean Doherty, or Doherty, I should say. Cheesecake or ice cream are the only right options. By the way, I love cheesecake. I love ice cream cake. I love vanilla ice cream. Sometimes, look, eat too much of it. Doesn't agree with you here. But when I eat, I always need like a treat afterwards. And I used to love that apple pie. Like McDonald's, I mean, doesn't really taste the same as when it does as a kid. Maybe just get those, too much ingredients that they got in there, if you will. But I love pumpkin pie, Jeff, at this point. I love apple pie. And you mix those two together in ice cream, boom, a la mode, I'm in.
Yeah, out where I live, I mean, the Amish, they do a lot of pies.
They do great pies out there. Yeah.
We also have a Central Market, which is downtown. It's a huge farmer's market. Shady Maple, which is a very well-known buffet.
All over.
They have a stand there. Donnie, when I was a kid, I haven't eaten them in years, but I used to eat them like crazy when I was younger. They have these powdered cream, like white cream donuts.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we call them Betty White. They're at our better bakeries here. They call them the Betty White donuts. A lot of people, but the cream donuts, man, you get me hungry right now. Donuts, fantastic. Cream, pie, fantastic. That's the way you get down. But it's good to see McDonald's getting back to the heritage here and bringing back the fried apple pie for a limited time, as I like to say.
McDonald's,
Jeff, when's the last time you ate Mickey D's, Jeff? Come on. When's the last time?
22, 23 maybe.
Wow. Come on. Not even a fry?
Like, I was 22.
Not even a fry.
No. The smell of it makes me sick.
Yeah.
I will say though, there are times where I have a hankering for a couple of double cheeseburgers. They're really good. I used to go.
I love Five
drink
Guys
in my early 20s. There was they're good though. But yeah, there was a McDonald's up the street from me, and I would get 2 McDoubles.
There you go.
A fry.
That was the big man on campus building.
I would drink it. I would drink. No, this was back before I was even big. I would just go drink and eat it and then go to sleep. And I thought to myself, how the hell did I do that?
Yep.
Christ.
Never think of that now. By the way, last couple minutes of the show, we like to reach out to the people in the chat box. Some already things, Jeff, and I already know where we're going with this one. So Coach asked, what is your and I'll let you go first, Jeff. What is your favorite holiday?
So I'll have one major one and then a minor one.
Go ahead. Go.
So my favorite major holiday is Thanksgiving. And I say that not just because, like, I love that meal. It's a great meal. You only eat it once a year usually. You don't have to give any gifts. You just kind of show up around,
You're like
whenever
me.
you eat.
You're like me.
You hang out. There's not really much expected of you. I also like the fact that it's on a Thursday. I think holidays on a Thursday is a great holiday just because you have the whole day Friday, you have the whole weekend. And I love that time of the year where it's not too cold. It's not snowing much yet. My minor holiday of the year, very underrated, especially at my age because I like to go out still. The best party of the year is the Sunday before Labor Day. I like Labor Day. I think it's a great holiday.
Do you? A lot of people get upset that, the season's over, Jeff.
Well, I'll tell you why it's great because, like, summer's awesome. I'm a 4-season guy where we live. So, like, summer's fun. I think it's much better, when you're older, but it's better when you're older because you could do so many cool things. The cool thing, though, is you welcome kind of the end of summer. Football's here. You kind of get back into the grind. For me, it's a great time. Throw in, it's a great party. Nobody works on Monday. They know how to throw a great party around here. So, yeah, I like Labor Day a lot. I think it's a good
for me, I absolutely love Thanksgiving. It's football, it's food, it's family. And Jeff said it's on a Thursday. Most people have off the Black Friday. Now they play football Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is by far my favorite. As a kid growing up, of course, we're all going to say Christmas because we couldn't buy anything ourselves. That was our one time we got everything we wanted. That's always a kid's favorite. But as you grow older, for me, it's 1,000%. It's Thanksgiving. I love everything about it, even the weather outside. And by the way, Labor Day, as a kid growing up, hey, last day before you got to go back to school, horrendous. As an adult, Jeff, it just means football is here, and it's a great time here. And by the way, Jeff is a Shore guy. His family's always been Shore people, owning properties down there and whatnot. Me learning, like, mom has a Shore house, dad used to have a Shore house. Why don't you come down during the summer, which I did from time to time. I loved September and October at the Shore because everybody goes home. It's still wonderful weather, and you got it to yourself. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm here early. I come down in June, and then I'm gonna come down again like late August, early September.
Yep.
Or we'll see. But I like the later season. I used to enjoy coming down. I would come down the week before Labor Day.
Yeah.
And stay for like 2 weeks. You watch football the first week 0 at the Shore. Yeah, it's great. I'll tell you another thing as a single man, the best holiday, Valentine's Day. Because you can spot very easy. Yes.
Don't you cry though at Valentine? You don't have a Valentine. Like, I would be very depressed if I didn't have a Valentine.
But it's easy to spot who also doesn't have one. Because generally if they're not out with a man, they're single. It's very easy to spot. It's the only time you can really do it. So
people always upset with that. By the way, Jeff, before we get out of here, get some updates out here. Portugal. Question was asked, what's the final score going to be? Well, if you're saying 1-0 right now, at least you got that half in the bag, Jeff. Nieves, 6 minutes into it, scored. We're at the 26-minute mark. Portugal 1-0 right now over the Congo. What do you think about that?
Yeah, really
nice
start.
What do you think that final's going to be?
Yeah, I have Portugal in the over 2.5. Really nice start. I would like to see one more goal before the half and maybe get one more in the second. I thought it would be 3-1. I could see a situation where Congo just get overwhelmed here and it's 3-0. But yeah, really nice start for the Portuguese. And Philly's starting out well too. So hopefully these good things keep going.
2-2, by the way. Marlins and the Phillies end of 1. So offense there. And again, it's great weather in our area here in the Northeast. Man. Royals, top of the second inning, up 2-0. So good start there. I need to get that over 9.5. And then away we go into the afternoon again. Have some action here on the Cardinals, a couple RBI props that I like. And also later in the day, Rays and the Dodgers here, Angels and the Diamondbacks. Nice little team total. I think can be sneaky in that Angels game. All 340, Jeff. It's great stuff. You have a lot of your day lined up. Sports are going on live right now. And also cashing tickets before dinner, Jeff. Before we get out of here, any thoughts for the people out here? What do you got? Let it rip.
Yeah, so just kind of enjoying my final day here. I'm going to go home tomorrow, as I said. So yeah, I'm gonna take a nice long walk. love, Donnie, my favorite thing in the world to do, and this is how I know I'm getting older.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I love just walking and looking at houses, man.
Beautiful.
Like, because I envision I've always said my end goal is to be done with all this stuff, have enough money, and just live at the shore, have a nice big house, and that's that. So I envision my future, I guess.
Another live edition in the books here of Crossing Lines. This is fun. And I generally say this. Thank you for the support so far. We are going to grow this thing. If you are watching, once again, all we ask you, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. If you watch through Twitter, social media, hit the retweet, comment, get back to us. Jeff and I are always on social media. Yes, we snap back sometimes, sure, because that's the fun of social media. But also just general sharing of information. It's been spectacular. And for me, like, just at this point in my career, just to have such an enjoyable show, Jeff, to do with you in the middle of the afternoon, that's only going to grow. You can tell, like, I'm excited. I still wake up early. I hit the treadmill. I walk the dogs. But so much things like behind the scenes that goes into it. The guys behind working for us right now, awesome stuff here. Only going to get better. Myself, learning the technology here, going through, Jeff coming on the show daily. But the one thing that we do know is we love sports and we love topics and we love working together. And this thing's going to last. The thing's going to grow. And so thank you guys for watching this. We will be back tomorrow on a huge Thursday. Thanks for tuning in to Crossing Lines. We'll see you tomorrow.